YouTube. This is Kat again, and you're back on the balcony with Kat. I'm out here on my balcony, and though there's not a lot of light to see it by, hopefully you guys can see this. The Yukon Gold potatoes that I started a while back have not only sprouted, they have been growing like gangbusters. So I have potato sprouts. Way cool. Happy about that. As you can see, my peas are still growing. Well, some of them better than others, but most of them are growing tall enough to start twining on the yarn I've got set up there. So they're still growing well. My carrots are still growing well. I have brought out my Traveler Strain jalapeno to start hardening off and growing on the balcony. So I've got it set out here. It seems to be doing okay and adapting to being outside. I'm happy with that. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? Ouch. Almost lost my lettuce today. Still only the one sprout. Came out, it got into the 70s today. So I came out and it was wilted over, and I watered it really well, so it seems to be perking back up. So hopefully it'll survive. Let's see. I also have a lot, as you can probably tell, of dwarf pomegranate tree seedlings. And these aren't all of them. These are just the ones I have outside, which I've been hardening these off for a little while, and they're actually doing very well with being hardened off out here. So those are my outdoor dwarf pomegranate seedlings. You've seen some of the ones that I've got, or you will see some of the ones that I've got inside. I'm also going to be having my best friend and brother type person helping me out with the filming today, because I'm going to show you a little bit more of my how to make a self-watering grow bin like the one I have in, well, the one I have in the corner, not that one, that's a different style, but the one that I have over there, which still sadly has not sprouted any of my old cucamelons. I'm really sad about that. I'm hoping they come up. They might not come up this year though, and that would be really sad because I really wanted them to come up again. But anyway, I'm going to be showing how to make one of those today with out of a 3-gallon sour cream bucket and I don't know what the size of this one is. Let's see. Well, it says 21 pounds. It doesn't say how many gallons because it's not really gallons. So I guess if you can convert that weight, you can figure out roughly how big this is. But this is going to be the bin that sits on top of the sour cream bin in that regard. I love these. I got these from the little Mexican grocery store nearby. They're really friendly people, and they don't mind giving out these bins at all. Really nice. I mean, they're just going to throw them out, so they have no problem with me coming over and asking if I can have them. So they recently gave me 3 of these queso cheese bins and 2 of the sour cream bins. Of course, when I got these for free, you have to wash them out yourself because, well, they're just going to throw them out, so they don't even bother washing them. So, no problems there. Oh, I got my Viking potatoes, my purple potatoes, although I haven't planted them yet. They need to eye out a little bit more, but I was expecting seed potatoes to be small, and these things aren't small. They're huge. I mean, they're baker-sized potatoes, you know, they're big. So I'm going to have a lot when I slice them up to plant them to plant. So it'll be interesting. But wow, they were also the first potato I've ever smelled raw that smelled really, really, really good. So I'm looking forward to growing them and then eventually eating them, because when I opened up the box, the smell of the potatoes had permeated the box that they were shipped in, and they smelled just awesome. I wanted to eat them right then and there, but they weren't, you know, they're seed potatoes. They're not meant to be eaten right now. They're meant to be planted, so I'll have to wait. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to find my brother and see if he's ready to help me out with the video. I'll be back in a moment. Well, sadly, I couldn't find my brother as he seems to be incapacitated at the moment, so I went ahead and got started on some things. One of the first things you want to do with the sour cream bucket is to put the lid on it and cut out the center of the lid. You want to, here's another sour cream bucket lid. You want to cut as close to the center circle as you can, because you want to leave that lip there to hold the other other bucket that you use, if you use a smaller bucket. Truthfully, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to get these specific buckets, but if you can get one that size, it's absolutely perfect, as the lip fits right there and it holds it up. It holds it up. I don't know if you can see this. God, it's hard doing this one-handed. Erg. Let me put this up. Sorry about this. On the ledge here. You can see how, you can see the level of where it hangs. So it hangs right there and gives more than enough of a reservoir. If you take a black or red Sharpie, or just a Sharpie pen, and mark the circle around where your fill line is, and mark it just a little bit below that, that's your fill line for your reservoir. So you don't want it to be too high, because you don't want the secondary bucket actually sitting in the water. You want your wick to sit in the water. Ugh. But anyway, with this bucket, what I did was I drilled quite a few holes in it for drainage holes. Give you a good shot at that. So, you know, so that it wouldn't hold a lot of moisture, only how much it needs. What I need to do next is cut a couple of slits in it, you know, about an inch long on either side. I usually do it, you know, like right about here to here, and that's what I thread my wick through. I do it from the inside, of course, threading it through from the inside. It's actually very easy to cut the slits in this plastic with a box cutter. It goes really easy. I'm kind of a wimp, so if I can do it, anybody can do it. So I cut 2 slits in the bottom of these, and then I thread my cloth strip through. The cloth strip that I use is actually the handles of these recyclable bags, because they don't rot. You could probably use any cloth that wicks water really well, but understand that if you use something like cotton or wool, that it will eventually rot out and you will have to replace it. But if you're doing it season by season and not leaving these full for like years at a time, it shouldn't be an issue. I actually don't have a wick ready at the moment, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that. But this is pretty much how you put it together. And I mean, it takes only like 15 minutes total, once you've got the supplies, to cut the hole out of the lid, and you know, that just slips right down in there. I use a Dremel to drill the holes in the bottom of this, because I like the smaller holes rather than a actual drill bit, but you know, your mileage may vary. You can use whatever you want. But again, they fit together perfectly. Then what you want to do after that, which I'm not going to do because sadly my drill, my actual drill, isn't charged at the moment, so I can't use it. But you want to go a bit above the bottom of this, because there's like a lip on this, But about a 1/4 inch or so from the bottom of this bucket, you want to drill about a 3/4 inch hole, and you want to fit that hole with a rubber grommet. I'll show you that in a moment. And a hose connector tube, which I'll show you as well. And that's what you attach your fill tube to. You can use just vinyl tubing for a fill tube easily enough, just like that one or that one, you know. The first time I made one of these, I wound up with it leaking though, because I drilled the hole a little bit too big and the rubber grommet didn't seal it well enough. So you want to be careful to make certain that your hole is a little bit smaller than your actual rubber grommet. So if you have like a 3/4 inch step drill, you want to drill, I think, the hole to maybe just below the top step on that. But yeah, and then it's just, you know, drill a couple of small holes in the top where you can thread some wire or a twist tie or a zip tie through to hold your tube in place. But that's pretty much it. That's all there really is to it. Then you just fill it up with your potting mix and you plant your plants in it. You can either put black plastic over the top to try and keep weeds down if you have weed issues, or you can leave it open like I do. I don't have any weed issues being on a 3rd-story balcony, so about the most I have problems with is pine needles blowing into it occasionally, and they don't sprout, so yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to make a couple of these, and you'll probably be seeing these on the balcony here pretty soon, actually in use, because I'm going to be using 2 of these for a biochar trial that I'm going to be doing fairly soon. Thanks to 1 Yard Revolution, who did a biochar giveaway, which was really, really awesome, and I actually won one of the 3 buckets of biochar he was giving away. So I'm going to be getting that hopefully in a couple of days, and I will be setting up to do a biochar trial. Ooh, go away, bug. So I will show you that when things get going. Sorry about the fact that my updates were kind of late because I had a few issues. One I want to talk about, so hang on, I'm going to actually put you up on the railing. Sorry guys, I got distracted and almost forgot to show you guys these. This is the hose connector that will attach to the rubber grommet and attach to the fill tube. And this, of course, is the rubber grommet. See, it's round on one side and kind of tapered on the other, so you kind of squeeze it a little bit to fit it into the hole. But you want to drill your hole. This is about a 3/4 inch rubber grommet. You want to drill your hole a little bit smaller than 3/4 inch so that it fits really, really snugly, and the rubber grommet actually seals the hole so it doesn't leak. I did not do that the first time, and it wound up leaking, and I wound up having to go back and caulk the first grow bucket that I built. But once that's in the hole and sealed, and you want to test it, of course, before you plant anything in it, you just take this part, which is, you know, just a tube with like these little ridges on it, and just kind of connect it to the rubber grommet on one end, and then put your fill tube end on the other, and that's how you connect your fill tube to your bucket. So that's that, and I will segue now indoors because I kind of filmed some things out of order, and so it's going to be a little bit jumbled in this video today, so I hope you'll bear with me. But yeah, I am going to segue to the indoor segment, so, and then I will be back out on the balcony for the finish up and final segment. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Okay. It's amazing how different things can grow when you have the appropriate light. This is a dwarf red robin cherry tomato that I sprouted not too long ago to replace the ones that I lost. Damn shaky camera hands. So it's growing really well and a lot faster than the first batch that I tried to grow that got eaten by fungus gnats, among other things. So it's doing really well. I got one of these, what do you call it? Ecobulbs. It's a natural light CFL, and it seems to be working wonders. This right here, next to the dwarf tomato, is a dwarf pomegranate seedling that is growing amazingly well with the new lighting. Behind that I have another red robin cherry tomato, and next to it I have another dwarf pomegranate seedling, although you will notice that this one is set up a little differently. This is actually an experimental setup on the Kratky style hydroponics situation, and I'm trying it with a dwarf pomegranate, and you can see the roots are already starting to form and all of that. But the thing is you will also notice that I'm using a clear container that isn't covered. Now most people worry that, well, this will get algae. So yeah, but this is an experiment based off of Media Maker 2000's commentary that he didn't get algae growing in his 2-liter Mountain Dew bottles. So I am doing this as an actual experiment to see if there is something about the green color that inhibits algae growth. And that's why I'm growing this in this. So, as I said, you can see that there's the roots are already starting to form and growing fairly well. And I have it just barely placed in the liquid, which is oops, sorry, I'm probably blinding you with the lamp there. And I almost dropped my camera. So, anyway, but yeah, so this is an experiment with the Kratky style growing system, and to see if there is actually, in fact, any truth in the thought that the color green inhibits algae growth. So far it's been growing along with no issues. No algae, you can see it's still very crystal clear, but I will keep track of this as it goes along. Yeah, that's that experiment. This is the avocado plant that I've been having issues with. You can see that the new bud sprout stem seems to be growing well. I did have to chop it down a little bit further, but I seem to have gotten rid of the blight, hopefully. It hasn't had any more trouble with leaf drop or anything turning black or brown, so I'm hoping. Let me see if that's on. Yep. Okay. Hopefully I'm in focus and all of that. I'm trying anyway. One of the reasons why, well, actually the reasons why this update is so late, because I like to try and do them once a week if I can, is we had kind of two issues. One, our phone line got disconnected. By the way, I'm really, really, really unhappy with CenturyLink at the moment. Not because they disconnected our phone line. I guess we missed paying the bill, and they had reason to disconnect it. That's not what I'm upset with them about. You see, my husband suffers from social anxiety disorder, and he went to pay the phone bill online using somebody else's computer, and I got the bill paid, but when he paid it off to get the phone reconnected, it said that he needed to call in to make certain he could get the line connected. Now, he has enough trouble dealing with people in social situations to begin with, but he figured, okay, I'll call them, I'll get this dealt with, I'll get it sorted out, no problem. So he called the number that they provided, and the first thing he got was a "Congratulations, you've won an all-expense-paid cruise to the Bahamas or someplace. All you have to do is pay a small fee. If you're interested, a small credit card fee. If you're interested, press 1. If you're not interested, press 2. So, well, he wasn't interested. So he pressed 2, and it went, "Thank you for calling," and disconnected him. Not a good thing. So he called back, listened to the spiel again, and pressed 1, which got him to a live operator, who immediately started launching into this promotional thing as my husband was trying desperately to get a word in edgewise and go, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested." He finally did get through to the fellow and said, "You know, I'm sorry, I suffer from social anxiety disorder. I couldn't do a cruise." You know, and the fellow went, "Oh, okay, well then, this is obviously not for you," and hung up on him. Mind you, this is a CenturyLink phone line that you have to call in order to get your phone reconnected. Yeah. My husband tried again, and instead of the "Congratulations, you've won a cruise," he got a "Congratulations, you've won a," I think it was a MasterCard gift card, again, for a nominal fee. Once again, it took him quite a while to actually get a hold of somebody who actually had anything to do with reconnecting our phone line, because they kept hanging up on him if he didn't want to buy something. Not happy. Not happy. Not happy. My husband was so stressed by the entire experience that he had to take an anti-anxiety med. Not good, CenturyLink. Really, really not good. Well, that was issue 1, so we didn't have phone/internet for a few days. The other issue was, once we finally got our phone reconnected, I wound up with a cold and just didn't have the energy to actually do another video. So that's why my video update is late today, and I apologize, or I should say late this last week. So I apologize to everybody. Hopefully your week is going much better than ours has been, and I'll see you next time. Take care.